Hi guys, welcome to my movie fan channel. My name is Tyler. Today's review is going to be for Star Trek, the original series. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure you give me a thumbs up down below, hit subscribe, and the little notification bell. That way you get alerts when I post a new video. I've never been a big Star Trek fan. It was just because I haven't seen a lot of it, but I decided to sit down and I wanted to start it, and I said I'm going to give the original series a chance. I watched the first couple episodes, and I wasn't hooked, to be honest. And I took a little bit of a break, and I came back to it. I gave it a second chance. I said, okay, let's watch it. And then Star Trek became like an every night thing for me, and I'd watch like 4 episodes in a row and just be like super into it. It's something you can watch at night and kind of wind down. I like all the sounds, and it's kind of like a soothing type thing to put on before bed. Kind of like 2001: A Space Odyssey, I guess. I was drawn in by the dynamic characters, and especially the big three, Kirk, Bones, and Spock. I think their dynamic is great, and they make the perfect team. I think the most complex character, and probably my favorite, is Spock, for everything that they do with him being half human, half Vulcan, and dealing with that, and how contradictory that is sometimes. He's kind of pulled in either direction and conflicted a lot of the times, and he also feels like an outsider, and they do that really well. They have him clash with Bones, who picks on him for being different with his ears and how logical he is, and that he doesn't assess things emotionally. A lot of the times he can seem rather cold. I also like when they get into the Vulcan culture and his family. A lot of that stuff is the most interesting that they cover in all of Star Trek. The show also has great secondary characters. Uhura, they got Scotty, Chekhov, Sulu, and Rand. They're all really great. I said they all stand out in their own way, and the diversity that they bring to the cast is something that's a trademark of Star Trek, but at the time was really groundbreaking and an important thing for all of TV forward, for society as a whole, because we see a lot of inclusion in Star Trek, and that kind of opened the flood doors and gave more opportunities for people in Hollywood. The original Star Trek series gave really good mythology to the Federation, to the Klingons, to the Romulans, that conflict that happened there, how they divided up space into like sectors, and I thought that was really interesting as well, and to see kind of the ideologies kind of at play and in conflict as you have the Star Trek Enterprise crew interact with Klingons and Romulans, all different kinds of species. You kind of see the different takes on philosophies of the universe, and that was really interesting. I think that goes into the human condition, which is kind of a theme of Star Trek, and they explore morality and important life lessons. The show also had great villains and recurring characters, or just characters that made a huge impact and were really unique, such as Harry Mudd, the Gorn, Trelane, Captain Pike, and Khan, of course, who comes back later in Star Trek: The Wrath of Khan. That was just a great character. Some great stories revolve around those characters, and I really enjoyed when they'd have maybe a standalone episode, which most of them were standalone episodes, if not all, that didn't really reference any of the previous episodes, but would have a really unique character who had a full story that went full circle. And that happened a lot of times with Star Trek, which was really interesting, because I thought it was just going to be like a weekly kind of serial show where they didn't really connect. I like all the sci-fi elements, such as warp speed and phasers, despite the technology at the time and the budget that I'm sure was a lot lower than what they would have liked to have. I still enjoyed the show, and the effects were laughable at times, but you're able to kind of be along for the ride. The actors really sell it. You have the characters on screen reacting to things happening in a super emotional way, and the way Captain Kirk sells like a battle going on, you believe it, even though it's a funny little pew, like firing out, like it's like a goofy animation special effect, but they really sell it, and you get into it, and you see the potential of Star Trek going forward. And I credit the original trilogy for getting me into the mythology and seeing the potential for storytelling and really great characters in the Star Trek universe. So let me know what you guys thought of Star Trek, the original trilogy, what you think of Star Trek, if you guys are big fans. If you guys aren't big fans, it is something that's kind of its time with special effects and that, but a lot of it stands the test of time with the lessons that you see in it. The characters are so great that they overcome, the aging out of the special effects. And I really enjoyed Star Trek, the original trilogy, and it only gets better as you watch the movies on in the later years. There's some really great stories that they tell with those characters as they age and progress. And like I said, I definitely see the potential for in the future to watch it with current technology, because I'm watching it, when it's 50 years old. And it's really exciting for me to have so much content to dive into. And I just finished watching the original series my first time through. I really enjoyed it, and I will see you guys in the next review.